Welcome. My name is Stephen Pinchuk. This is a briefing on customer-centric profit optimizations, and it's a quick summary briefing. There's much more detailed information available on this, which you'll see at the end of the slides. My company, Profit Optimization Strategy, spells optimizations with a Z, the US spelling instead of an S, and my contact information is listed below. This concept has some copyright pending, and part of it is US and internationally patent pending. The concept of a company being customer-centric is not new. There are a lot of theories. A method to systematically accomplish this is new. I have a U.S. international patent pending on an organizational method. The key is creating a system that incorporates all other existing areas of a company and predicts customer actions for each individual. Companies and customers will benefit from learning the way a progressive company should treat their most valuable assets, their customers. Today's customer is savvy and understands what is possible. Companies need to improve their relationships with customers. The savvy companies will win. In the introduction, these ideas are a fusion of things that I've learned from many of my past positions. I was an economics advisor to a senior U.S. senator who ran for president. I had a top secret defense and intelligence agency clearance working on future system projects for Martin Marietta Aerospace, including command control communication and intelligence systems. I was a corporate vice president of revenue management and distribution for Harris Entertainment, and a vice president of profit optimization for SAS Software Institute. These concepts are from the real-world experiences and developed to work in the real world in any industry that can track individual customers. First of all, let's talk about our agenda. We're going to go through an introduction, what we're going to want to focus on, some questions, and then the goals, the overview of the concept, what life cycles are, and command control communication and intelligence systems. Long-term visions can increase efficiency. This is important because if we have a long-term target, we want a straight line over multiple years to get to that target. We can start crawling, then we can walk, then we can run. What we don't want to do is take a circuitous route through multiple tactical projects with a dubious long-term goal. A straight line where we have a long-term target and crawl, walk, and run towards a target is better, not a curving path where short-term goals are added together to reach a recently defined long-term. The new approach is needed. The areas of CRM, pricing, marketing, product development, and distribution are all functions that need to form a new foundation for future customer-centric organizations. They have to be 100% integrated towards a common new goal, focused on each customer where possible as an individual, not fund segments where possible. Everyone has to optimize strategic profits, not tactical revenues. The process has to use predictive analytics and automated systems, and we need to be able to see and control things from each customer's perspective, not our perspective. Let's focus. This is not about traditional CRM. Traditional CRM is a database of customer information, some analytics, and little or no predictive analytics. Traditional CRM is used by other areas, hopefully, like marketing or pricing, but it doesn't really coordinate and control the actions of all the company's areas in order to protect the customer. We need to start nourishing and developing the customers to optimize their lifetime value. This is about customer relationship optimization. Customer relationship optimization is the goal of a customer-centric profit optimization system. Customer relationship optimization is best accomplished by predicting and leveraging future behavior patterns of customers. How well do you really know your customers? Do you know all the things they're going to want or will do over their expected lifetimes? Do you have a clue of what these patterns really look like? The confidence intervals, their probabilities of doing them? Not just the probability of them accepting the next offer. Do you know the patterns that they're going to have or that you want to see them have? Do you know the different patterns that a poor average or a good customer takes in their lifetime? Would it help to see it graphically and not just as a dump of numbers? How do you spot changes in patterns? How fast can you tell if a customer is diverging from a pattern, whether it's good or bad? Do you differentiate your pricing, marketing, or other areas based on the lifetime customer value and where they are in that lifetime relationship with you? Do you still think you know your customers? Close enough works. Many people are going to say we can't get exact enough forecasts for predictions. Close enough gets us close enough to be proactive, to lead us out of the darkness, to learn more. We have to take action and start moving. What about controlling and knowing the strategies that each customer sees? Do you know what you look like to your customer given all the interactions or influences you have with them? Do you know how to gain this kind of perspective and what to do with it? Do you have a way of systematically seeing and controlling all the influences that you send to one of your customers from their perspective? Is this based on their past behavior or on their future behavior, what you're sending to them? It should be on both. Can you select a future date, product, etc., and see all the information about it from multiple systems in one screen? Or do you have to go searching through multiple systems, one at a time, one screen at a time, marketing, revenue management, pricing, CRM, and remember the data from each of those screens so that you can put it together in your mind to see what the market sees you as? Do we need a system to control all these actions? I think so. Senior management needs this tool to achieve their goals. We've built up silos. We have great marketing and pricing systems and CRM systems, but nothing that coordinates and controls them or shows us the perspective of the customer and why they're seeing things this way. Command control, communication, and intelligence can accomplish. Our goals are to systemize customer-centric strategies to optimize profits, creating a customer-centric profit optimization system. Optimize a customer's lifetime strategic value, not their tactical value. Have long-term multi-step strategic goals, not short-term tactical fixes. Goals that change fundamental business models, achieved one step at a time with a long-term target. To implement customer-centric profit optimization, we're going to need an integrated system, basing all demand influencing functions on the results of predictive customer life cycles, not the traditional functional silo approach of traditional CRM marketing, pricing, and distribution. With a new user interface that allows users to see all systems that influence a future date, person, or event in one screen with multiple windows. What's the overview? Customer-centric profit optimization is like an engine in a car. It's a systematic engine comprised of these components: predictive life cycles, customer relationship optimization, command control communication. This should not necessarily replace a lot of existing systems. It can be added to as an engine and as a user interface. Customer-centric profit optimization. What I want you to get right now in seeing the diagram is just notice in the center the yellow core, which is the customer lifecycle model predictions. They're the core of the system. They're interacting with all the functional areas of the system that impact demand, like pricing, marketing, distribution. And you have a C-cubed I interface on top that's pulling all the data together. The area in the purple circle is a customer-centric profit optimization. Some examples of life cycles. First of all, in the upper left-hand corner, we see a typical life cycle. The x-axis is the number of interactions over time. The y-axis is the value of them. On the bottom, bottom left, we see a life cycle with some of the points of contact with the customer circled in red. These are areas that we know from past customers or target behavior areas, where if we send certain messages or do certain things, we'll get a good response. We need to be able to look at our life cycles, learn this, and automate some marketing when people hit certain points in life cycles. On the right, we're going to look at pricing. If we had these two customers, right now, if we just had the data to the left side of the dotted red line on each of them, we would think that for tactical reasons, the person who's the $100 client is more profitable than the person who up to this point has been a $50 client. But look, if we knew the rest of their life cycles, we would know that we would prefer to optimize the value of that first client on top, because over time their value is much greater. If we have predictive life cycles, we can now base pricing not just on historical data, which is tactical, but also on strategic data, which looks out a certain period in a life cycle, or over the lifetime of the whole life cycle. How can I use life cycles? Two different ways. One-to-one marketing. We can focus on individual customers, their patterns and their actions, plus one-to-many. We can use it to understand a life cycle as a target of an action, when a lot of people are at the same place and would respond. We can use it in existing algorithms, but what we can now add is predictive values and not just use historical values in the models. We can create a customer-centric lifecycle approach by developing an analytically derived and continually updated understanding and explanation of nano-level life cycles for each customer. What are these? How do they differ? Which ones are desirable, undesirable? How are they changing? If we knew a life cycle, which would be the dark blue line, we could put a parameter around it, in this case a 15% deviation threshold above or below it, and say to the system, let me know when someone's behavior goes out of these boundaries so I can take action. This has to be an approach with the corporate life cycle as a core. It's self-learning. It identifies similar behavior trends. It applies predictive analytics to develop these predictive life cycles. It drives marketing automation, marketing optimization, and it becomes an interface with data for revenue management, pricing models, marketing, distribution. For marketing automation, it can automate true one-to-one marketing based on predictive analytics for the whole life cycle, track individuals and identify behavioral variances in behavior and send appropriate actions. Or it can identify optimum recipients for promotions by finding people who have the right life cycles and are in the right place in the life cycle. Life cycles can also give us a lot of information on the market and the customers. We can see things at a smaller level. We can see things as they're happening now by the variances in individual customers instead of waiting till the whole segment has changed. Command control communication can give us new perspective, can allow us to see things from the user or the customer's perspective as to how the company's interacting with them. It can allow us to see everything about a particular date, particular promotion. It can give protection. We can use it with our customers to protect them and ensure they're getting consistent and the right messages, giving their value in their life cycles. Integration, we can use it to integrate all the actions in the company around a particular date or customer and make sure the messages are consistent and proper. And alarms and exception reports. Within a screen, a computer screen, we can have multiple windows, each showing its own system. And one of those can be a user input screen where the user can input different alarms and exception reporting parameters, and the system, when it finds those, can bring it to the user's attention along with all the information in the appropriate windows. So it automates this interface. So, for a final overview of customer-centric profit optimization, let's go back to our lovely diagram. Hopefully now you understand the main parts of this that I believe will allow this to become an organizational change. We've defined a new customer lifecycle core that uses predictive analytics to predict future life cycles of customers based on the smallest level of their behavior and then aggregate them up. And you can get more information in other briefings on how this works. And a new C-cubed-I interface that allows us to have a new perspective, protect the customer, and also make sure we've coordinated all the functional areas in the company around the strategic profit optimization of that customer core and not simply the tactical revenue generation. This is a rare win-win both for companies and for customers. Hopefully no one's going to argue that knowing our customers better, giving them what they want when they want it, is not going to be more profitable for the company. The companies can do this. This is not rocket science. It's not that far away to do. I think what's truly been missing is an approach organizationally on how to implement it given the current structures where, again, we don't have to throw out what we have today. This integrates around and helps control and feed. It's like the sandwich, the bottom layer of data that feeds existing systems, the existing systems, and then the C-cubed-I interface on top that is tracking what's going on with them. Much more information on this is available in other briefings and through other areas. For now, I would be interested in any discussions people have on this concept and how they see this being able to move forward. My contact information is listed on this last slide. Please remember to use a Z in optimization instead of an S. And more detailed narrated PowerPoints are available, as well as numerous other papers on this topic, which I'll be adding shortly to this channel. Please go to www.authorstream.com and search for the channel called Customer Centric. You'll find all of this information there. There are also discussions on LinkedIn that you can use within several of the groups. Search for contributions made by my last name, Pinchuk. I would welcome any other presentations or discussions on this channel or any of the LinkedIn channels. Thank you very much. I believe that this will be an approach that can be implemented to create customer-centric organizations.